I know your resume is incredible. What you've done is incredible. You're considered the greatest of all time. Yeah, we get that. So if you don't want to fight, just retire.
I don't think it works like that.
Volkanovski slams Jon Jones for dodging Aspinall, calling for him to vacate the belt and let the real contenders rise. The call to strip Jon Jones of his UFC heavyweight title has reached a fever pitch, with 178,000 fans signing a petition demanding that the belt be taken away. The growing frustration surrounding Jones's inactivity is becoming harder to ignore, especially as interim champion Tom Aspinall continues to wait in limbo. The long-standing consensus is clear: the greatest of all time may be holding the division hostage.
He's not the undisputed champ because there's an interim champion, and I'm not saying this as someone trying to shit on Jon Jones. No, this is just the situation. Now, first of all, talking about living his best life. You've probably seen this right now. He's out in Thailand, he's driving around, he's on the back of someone's motorbike, he's having a good smell of somebody's hair, he's with some Russian dudes because Jon Jones and Nate Diaz are filming some like Russian version of The Ultimate Fighter. Jake Shields was there. The guy that was riding the motorcycle comes in, kicks off to he's still hammered from the night out. He doesn't look like he can fight his way out of a wet paper bag, but he's swinging punches and all this type of stuff. Nate Diaz gives him a slap. Jon Jones is laughing his head off. Got to be careful out there, boys. Anytime you're dealing with a bunch of Chechens and a bunch of Russians, you got to be careful.
Although Jon Jones hinted at a potential agreement for a fight during a Q&A session in Phuket, Thailand, nothing has been confirmed. Fans briefly got their hopes up, but the absence of any official announcement has only fueled more speculation and anger. While the legendary fighter's credentials remain untouched, it's his current status that has many, including fellow fighters, calling him out.
Honestly, who cares now?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Like, I'm done. I'm done with waiting. It's like, yeah, it's like Elder Scrolls 6, dude. It's like, you know what I mean? Just, you gotta have to play something else, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done. And honestly, everyone nagging him and poking at him and trying to get clips and stuff is worse for me. Like, they're like, yeah, it's way worse for me. It's just, I'm done with that too. I'm just done. I
get it.
I don't know how Jones still holds the title.
Among those stepping into the conversation is none other than Alexander Volkanovski. The UFC featherweight champion, known for his straightforward takes, didn't hold back during a recent appearance on Mike Perry's Overdogs podcast. While respectful of Jones's legacy, Volkanovski firmly believes that holding a title comes with responsibilities that can't be ignored. For Volkanovski, being a champion means defending the belt, not sitting on the sidelines indefinitely.
Look, it's obviously, I've always been, if you're the champion, defend your belt. It's a responsibility. You can't just, I'm going to sit out. I think you need to be reasonably active. I think you need to fight whoever's there. If you've got an interim champ, it's a no-brainer. You know what I mean? So I don't want to throw heaps of shade, but I mean, look, I know he's proved himself. Everyone's like, oh, look what he's done. It's fine. It's like, yeah, no, not really. Don't hold up division just because. I know your resume is incredible. What you've done is incredible. You're considered the greatest of all time. Yeah, we get that. So if you don't want to fight, just retire.
He didn't aim to disrespect Jones outright, but made his stance crystal clear. If you're the champ, you need to fight. Volkanovski stressed that defending a title isn't optional, it's an obligation. He argued that having an interim champion waiting in the wings makes it even more important for the undisputed champion to step up. By delaying the fight with Aspinall, Jones isn't just making a personal decision, he's affecting an entire division's momentum.
You're done. Or if you want big fights, you're going to have to vacate the title. Like, it's a responsibility. That's how I've always looked at being the champ. It's a responsibility. I would like even a bigger break, or have no pressure of wanting to fight or anything like that. But I mean, it's responsibility. I want to be active. I want to, make sure, obviously make that money as well. But I mean, at the same time, I want to, sort out the contenders and do your thing. So it's that's just how I look at it. I don't want to throw shade at him. He's done great things, but I don't see how. I don't know if I want to fight him when you're the champ. I don't think you have a choice when you've got an interim champ just standing there waiting for how long.
Meanwhile, the anticipation for a potential Jones versus Aspinall clash has only intensified. The longer the wait drags on, the more fans feel robbed of a fight that could redefine the heavyweight division. Even within the fight community, opinions are becoming more direct.
But they keep asking about Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall, and everybody that has asked the question has prefaced it from a standpoint that Jon Jones is holding this fight up and that he is refusing to fight Tom Aspinall. Now, that may well be the truth. I'm just here to bring to you guys, we don't have that evidence. I mean, we do not have that evidence. Let me tell you what we have evidence of. Jon Jones is the undisputed champion. Let me tell you what we have evidence of. Tom Aspinall is the interim champion. Now, while we fiercely adhere to whatever rules we make up as we go, historically speaking, the interim champion fights the undisputed champion. Like an interim champion does mean one thing historically, which is you're the number one contender.
Jon Jones is facing intense criticism from fans and fighters alike for continuing to delay a showdown with interim heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall. As time drags on with no official fight announcement, pressure within the MMA world is reaching a breaking point. Many believe that if Jones has no intention of defending his title against the surging Brit, he needs to either retire or vacate the belt immediately.
We're now in a discussion where that isn't true, where an interim championship might actually be defended. And that's the part where I gotta tell you, I don't buy it. There isn't two options for Jon Jones. There is for Tom. In fact, for Tom, there's 3 and 4 and 5 options. Jon Jones will be offered a fight with Tom, or he cannot fight at all. And when you're a prize fighter, electing to not fight does not make you good at negotiating. It makes you unemployed. And Jon Jones has done great. But Jon Jones has not made walkaway money. He just simply isn't at a point in his life or career that he's going to be walking away.
A fan petition to strip Jones of his title has already amassed nearly 180,000 signatures, showing how widespread the disappointment is. Many feel that Jones is picking and choosing his fights, protecting his legacy instead of proving it against today's top contenders. Tom Aspinall, young, hungry, and undeniably skilled, represents a real threat, and some believe that threat is exactly why the fight hasn't happened.
And the UFC could pull the card of stripping Jon Jones, of making Tom the undisputed champion without ever having to throw a punch. Or if Tom is going to go out there and fight and defend, it will not be a defense of the interim belt. It could be a defense for the vacated undisputed belt. And I'm not sharing with you that I predict for you we're getting to that point. I'm reminding you that we aren't to that point. And we aren't to that point because the UFC, which is the middlemen, they're the ones negotiating. They're hearing tones. Dana knows in certain tones, not just your words, how close you are to coming to the table to getting a fight done.
Tom Aspinall has recently opened up about his growing frustration with the prolonged uncertainty surrounding a potential fight with Jon Jones. In a recent interview, the interim heavyweight champion revealed that the drawn-out negotiations have taken a toll on him mentally. He shared that the constant waiting, stretching over the last 4 to 5 months, has left him feeling mentally drained and increasingly disillusioned with the situation.
Oh, I'm well bored of it. I've had enough. We either need to fight or I need to move on and do something else. And like I said, I'm going to find out. Literally, today is the day that I've been waiting for 3-4 months for. And I'm going to find out today what's going on.
Jon Jones's legacy has come under growing scrutiny as many begin to question his reluctance to face interim champion Tom Aspinall. In a recent viral moment that captured the sentiment of frustrated fans, a supporter approached Aspinall holding a toy duck with Jon Jones's name written on it. The gesture was a clear jab at Jones, mocking him for seemingly avoiding the matchup. The fan handed the duck to Aspinall while calling on Jones to stop ducking the fight, a symbolic move that reflected the growing public perception that the reigning champion may be dodging a legitimate challenge to his title.
I got people in the chat calling me a duck. Meanwhile, I'm living my absolute best life. I don't know if it's considered ducking when you're living good. I don't think it works like that.
What started as a debate is now turning into a movement. The fact that nearly 180,000 people have signed a petition shows the depth of dissatisfaction. Fans want answers, and more importantly, they want action. It's not just about Jon Jones, it's about the integrity of championship belts in the UFC.
First of all, incredibly dangerous to do that. I mean, let's just be honest. You should not drive and be on IG Live. Second of all, look, he's doing this reality show with Nathan Diaz in Russia, and I'm told that the money is just absurd. It's astronomical. Get paid, well deserved. Both legends of the game. I totally understand it. But here's the part that I very much disagree with him. It's not about you, Jon. It's not about you. It's not about your life. It's not about your story. If you want to enjoy your life, if you want to be a part of a reality show, if you want to take that money and delay things and hold someone else's dreams back from becoming a reality, that is ducking. That is ducking, because there is a time-honored tradition in this business.
At this point, even speculation around a fight agreement has done little to calm the backlash. While Jones has teased negotiations and future plans, there's been no commitment, no date, and no confirmation. The silence is louder than ever, and it's speaking volumes to those paying attention.
The whole thing has to move along. It's not about your story. Your story is great, and you're living your best life, great. Get rid of that belt. If you want to do that, great. No one will begrudge you. Everyone thinks you've done enough. You've earned enough. You've proven enough. Now allow someone else to have that same story. Allow someone else to write that same story. You are holding him back. You are holding back not only Tom Aspinall, but the rest of the division. So yes, you're missing the point. This isn't about you. It's about the belt. How many more times does Tom have to say it? He would love to fight him. He would love to be he would love to have the opportunity to be that guy. He would love it. Who wouldn't? But he just wants that belt. He wants whatever that belt signifies, whatever it symbolizes.
Ariel Helwani didn't hold back when speaking about Jon Jones, labeling his actions as selfish and calling out the UFC for allowing the situation to drag on. He voiced his disappointment, emphasizing that Jones isn't just delaying a fight, he's standing in the way of Tom Aspinall's rightful shot at greatness. Helwani pointed out that this isn't only about one fighter's ambition being stalled, but about fairness and opportunity being taken off the table. He even speculated that UFC President Dana White might have already made private arrangements regarding the situation, leaving fans and fighters alike in the dark and feeling misled.
It is ducking at this point. You are ducking. You're ducking the opportunity. You're taking that opportunity away from someone else. You are robbing someone else of the same opportunity and the same dream that you have already realized and lived. That is selfish. That's not how the game works. And so it's on the UFC to make the call. Make the call. And you know what? They may have already made the call. And it may be happening at MSG, and we're all being, we're all being taken for a ride here. But honestly, if that is the case, come out and say it. And please tell Tom Aspinall, for the love of God, because by the time that fight happens, if it does happen on that day, it's going to be a year. We're approaching a year since his last fight, and that fight lasted 60 seconds.
Ariel Helwani didn't mince words when describing the situation facing Tom Aspinall, calling it a serious injustice caused by Jon Jones's continued absence from the division. He called on Jones to make a clear choice, either defend the heavyweight title or step aside. Helwani warned that the situation is quickly deteriorating and noted that the entire UFC fan base is now watching closely, waiting to see how Jones responds.
It is a crime what is happening to Tom Aspinall in the prime of his life, in the prime of his career. Give up the belt or fight. That's it. Defend or vacate. That's it. It's great. We're all happy for you. I love the fact that you turned your life around. Truly. Trust me, I was there. We did the walk and talk in Albuquerque. I covered it all. It actually warms my heart. But you got to keep the train rolling along. It's not fair. It's not right. Defend or vacate.
Colby Covington added his voice to the growing criticism surrounding Jon Jones, offering a blunt take during a recent appearance on Red Hawk Recap. Never one to shy away from controversy, Covington accused Jones of deliberately pricing himself out of a fight with Tom Aspinall by demanding an inflated payday between $40 million and $50 million. He argued that those figures don't reflect Jones's actual drawing power and suggested it's a tactic to avoid the matchup altogether. In Covington's view, Jones is more likely to retire than risk stepping into the octagon with Aspinall, using financial demands as a convenient exit strategy.
Yeah, I don't think John is fighting him. I think he's going to duck him and go into retirement.
Really?
Yeah, I believe so.
I wonder if Big Hunter and them are trying to make it happen. I believe they might be.
They're definitely trying to make it happen, but you heard that interview with Aspinall yesterday. He's like, dude, I'm done talking about John. They're not getting this fight done until it's signed. I just don't want to talk about it anymore. So you can see the frustration from Aspinall's side. You know, John's ducking. He's trying to ask for an unreasonable price, man. You can't be asking for $40-50 million. You don't draw money to the company like that. So, you know, I think that he's going to end up retiring before he fights Aspinall.
Michael Bisping weighed in on the ongoing heavyweight title drama, pointing out how John Jones's prolonged absence has stalled the entire division. He highlighted that Tom Aspinall has now held the interim title for the majority of Jones's reign, underscoring just how long the champion has been inactive. Bisping also took issue with Jones's social media activity, noting that while Jones appears to be enjoying life, he seems to be overlooking the responsibility he carries as a champion to both the fans and the rest of the fighters waiting for their shot.
He's holding up the division, okay? Tom Aspinall, the interim champion, has been the interim champ for 70% of John Jones's reign. They need to fight one another, and what the F is going on? Why isn't this fight scheduled? And now, of course, we've seen all this stuff coming out about John Jones. He's not sure, he's tweeting, he might be retired, he might not be retired, he's living his best life. I mean, that's all well and good. Of course he's living his best life. He's had a tremendously successful life. He's one of the greatest fighters the world's ever seen, okay? And with that, he's made a tremendous amount of money. Of course, you're living a good life, but as the heavyweight champion of the world, you have a debt, you have an obligation to the fighters, to the fans.
Gareth A. Davies offered a pointed observation on the situation, noting the irony of John Jones spending his time filming content with Nate Diaz instead of focusing on proper promotion or fight preparation. Davies remarked that the scene feels less like professional promotion and more like chaotic brawls. He also pointed out that Jones isn't actively involved in these altercations, hinting that the champion may have genuinely lost his motivation to compete, at least for the time being.
Weird, wild Thailand reality TV show with a load of Eastern Europeans where this guy seems to walk in and fight with everyone the whole time. Jake Shields out there, Nick Diaz is out there, Nate Diaz is out there. Like, I've seen like one of those mentions where it's all beautifully lit and loads of cameras, loads of people around, and then they're all brawling with each other. Yeah. John's standing there not fighting with anyone, I hasten to add.
No.
He doesn't want to fight at the moment.
Adam Catterall echoed similar frustrations, criticizing both John Jones and the UFC for the chaotic state of the heavyweight division. He described the current situation as a major blemish on the organization's reputation, contrasting it sharply with the more organized structure seen in boxing. Catterall also noted that Jones, once hailed as the greatest light heavyweight ever, is steadily losing his influence and standing in the sport due to his prolonged inactivity and poor management of recent developments.
And this is a bit of a mess. It's a bit of a stain, really, on the UFC, because traditionally they get this right. They get the best guys against the best guys. You have one champion per division. It's very easy to follow, but this heavyweight scenario has been an absolute mess for the best part of 2 years. Just for those that don't follow it, I'll give you a little bit of a sprinkling, and this might resonate with some boxing fans that are frustrated with certain things that haven't materialised in the world of boxing over the last few years. John Jones was, listen, a phenomenal light heavyweight. And he's often referred to, and he refers to himself as the greatest of all time. And I don't think many people would argue with that, because the run that he went on at light heavyweight was absolutely, truly sensational. Now, he went away for a period of time when Francis Ngannou was the heavyweight champion.
Meanwhile, Rico Verhoeven, the reigning Glory heavyweight world champion, didn't pull any punches when asked about a possible Jones versus Aspinall showdown. Having spent time training with Aspinall, Verhoeven has full confidence in the British powerhouse and believes the matchup wouldn't be close. In fact, he went as far as to say that Aspinall would completely dismantle John Jones.
There's one guy who could mimic a John Jones on the feet. It's Rico Verhoeven.
He's gonna wipe the floor. He's gonna wipe the floor with John Jones.
You believe
John Jones 100%. Doesn't have a chance versus Tom Aspinall. Mark my words. Tom Aspinall is a freaking monster.
I love it.
On his feet and on the ground. So, and I truly believe that John Jones has never faced somebody that is that good on his feet.
According to Verhoeven, Aspinall is a rare talent, dominant on the ground and terrifying on the feet. He insisted that Jones has never faced someone with the combination of speed, technique, and power that Aspinall brings. For him, the outcome is already decided. If that fight happens, it's Aspinall's night, and Jones doesn't stand a chance.
On the ground, he's faced some guys that are pretty good, but on his feet, I think Tom is, he would even do good in the kickboxing ring. He would be a top competitor to fight me as well.
And there you have it, the heavyweight drama heating up with Jon Jones at the center, fans and fighters calling for answers, and the division hanging in the balance. Will Jones finally step up, or will he hand the belt over to Tom Aspinall? Make sure to stay tuned, because this story is far from over, and the next move could shake the entire UFC landscape. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a beat.